Well, that brings the energy to me. It's Tuesday night, 10 o'clock here on the SLG Network, on YouTube and other social media platforms. It's Sports with Rich. I'm Rich Mancuso, and there he is, my young protege, the whiz, Robert Rizzo. Hey, Wiz, are you there? Are you asleep? Are you there?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
I don't know. The internet connection seems to be a little awkward, a little off. I'm moving. You're not.
No, I'm all good. I hear you. We're all
I
set.
hear you. I see you, but you're not moving at all.
Oh,
I don't know. Well, anyway, we might encounter some difficult. There have been some storms in the area, and that might be disrupting internet. I don't know. Either way, we'll lie. Oh, there you are. Now I see the Wiz. Now I see him moving. Now I see him smiling. So, hey, Wiz, welcome. How was your week?
oh, it was a great week. We did a bunch of boxing, a bunch of baseball, talking Mets, Braves, big series down in Atlanta. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But how was your week?
Oh, the usual. Complaining. I always complain. Everyone knows I complain. Aches and pains, business, the usual. But I'm here. And we're here on Tuesday Night Live, Sports with Rich on the SLG Network, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the program on SLG Network and on my network, Sports with Rich or Rich Mancuso on YouTube. Also, I'm at Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Twitter at Ring786, Instagram, Mancuso76. And Wiz, where do they find you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, RRizzo4, and Facebook, Robert Rizzo. Catch all my articles on Latino Sports, New York Sports Day.
And good ones they are. And again, we invite you to comment and give us questions in the cube. We're getting one already from Carl Roberts, who says, good afternoon, guys. Good evening, guys, whatever. I never know what time it is. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for tuning in. So like, comment, subscribe, give us your comments, and we'll get to that question in a moment about the division going down the drain with the Mets. We are going to talk about the Mets in the next hour. 2 hours we'll have tonight, maybe a little more. Julian Hammerhand Rodriguez will be a pro fighter that's coming back on the Bello Boxing Show July 29th, Great American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We'll have him on live. And, of course, we will have the fact of the week. I want to give away that Aaron Judge bobblehead. No one's got it yet. And also, I've got the Nobody Beats the Wiz planned again. We'll test the Wiz, yes or no, and see what he says this week. And, of course, your comments in the cube. We'll get to that. But first, before we get to the news, and there's plenty of baseball we're going to talk about for 2 hours, plus the boxing and everything else, and the wrestling, and the NBA, whatever. We got it all. Where something's come to my attention this week, and it's bothering me. A lot of your followers, even some of mine, are saying, you know what? Why does this have to be Sports with Rich? Change the name of the show. So what do you think? I mean, I'm up to it. I don't care. But did you instigate this and start this, my friend?
No, I didn't instigate it at all. No.
You sure?
Yeah, I didn't instigate it. I'm not the.
All right. Well, you know what? I've been all kidding aside. I've been thinking about it. It's Sports with Rich. Yes, that's the name of the show. But it's also Robert Rizzo, the Wiz. He is the co-host. So I'm up to changing the name, like maybe R&R, maybe. I don't know. When I was my old WFAN days with Jody McDonald here in the New York area, we did the pro wrestling thing at 3 a.m. It was JM and RM at 3 a.m. So maybe think about it.
Yeah.
We your suggestions, too. The viewers and our supporters want to log in on that and give us their opinion. We'll look into it. We'll even ask John, our able producer, working the controls, and Nick at the SLG Network. But right now, it's still Sports with Rich with the Wiz Robert Rizzo. But you instigated, you started this. Now we have to find a culmination to it. All right? Yeah. All right. So the All-Star Game is a week away, week from tonight in L.A., California. First time the game beat in, 40 years, Wiz? And that's the topic of discussion. Who made the team? We'll talk about that. We'll go over the division standings at the midway point of baseball as well in this first half hour of the program. But the All-Star Game next week, and we're going to have a live remote, as always, and it's going to be all baseball next Tuesday night. We'll have people from L.A. that are covering the game through Latino Sports on the air with us directly from L.A. and Dodger Stadium. But this guy drew some interest this week because the Red Sox were in town to play the Yankees, and they were up. Yankees were up in Boston, Fenway. Gave the Yankees some problems. Though it doesn't matter if the Yankees lose; it's not the end of the world. Come on, fans, you're panicking. Don't panic. But the Red Sox pitching is coming back to health, which has been a part of their dilemma this season. This guy, Chris Sale, created an uproar. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, I need more guards here. I need more guards here. Get him right.
He took his frustration out on a water cooler in a minor league game in his last rehab start before coming back tonight, where he pitched 5 innings and threw 78 pitches. As the Red Sox are playing right now, I think the Red Sox are trailing the Rays 3-2, or they lost 3-2 tonight down in Tampa Bay to the Rays. 2 teams that'll probably make the wild card in the out of the American League East. What did you think about that, Wiz? That was not only, to me, frustration, but amusing as well. But come on, he's risking another injury. Hadn't been on the mound in about a year and a half.
Yeah, and he's the focal point for the Red Sox pitching rotation. They need him back ASAP, and for him to do that in the clubhouse, I thought it was hysterical. Immediately, I thought of the title, Chris Sale redecorating the clubhouse. But another thing I thought of was the coach walking by him. I can't imagine what he said trying to calm him down during that moment.
You know what?
Minor league coach. And
you bring up a great point because that's a minor league team, they're AAA affiliate, and that is such a bad reflection to those guys in AAA. Maybe it motivates those kids, but 2 things here: motivate or not, frustration or not, you're risking another injury by doing something like that. It's childish. It's immature. Take your frustrations out somewhere else. Don't. A water cooler. All right.
And it was for a bases loaded walk in a rehab start. So he's got to cool it down.
And the Red Sox need him. If they want to make any moves, they might be. We'll talk trade deadline stuff too in a moment. But the Red Sox want to make a move in the postseason as a wild card team, which looks like they probably will be, even though they're 15 games out of the division lead with those Yankees that never lose. Their pitching's coming back to health. Michael Walker, Rick Hill, Nathan Eovaldi, and him. Those are key guys in that rotation. And now, Chris Sale comes back tonight. Had a pretty good outing for 5 innings, but then again, that frustration's not – you don't need to see that stuff. All right. Let's speak about the Baltimore Orioles a moment in the American League East. They're on this winning streak, and I think they're still tied in play tonight. At Wrigley Field in Chicago, a team with one of the top with an 8-game winning streak coming in tonight, one of the hottest teams in baseball, a game below 500. They could reach that mark tonight, which is amazing for them, as well as the Seattle Mariners on a winning streak too. 2 teams in the American League that have a shot at wild cards. They're zeroing in on that, and these Atlanta Braves playing the Mets. This team is, last night, we'll talk more about this, but big series with the Mets. The Braves 28-9 since the month of June. The Mets win Matt Scherzer last night. Tonight, the Mets are trailing, but even though David Peterson, another good effort before a home run ball.
Yeah, it was he had 105 pitches. That was his season high for now. And he gave up the homer on 105, the 105th pitch against Olsen. The pitch before was a foul ball. Maybe should not have been in there, Yeah,
I think Buck Showalter should took him out. Yeah, it was. But 105 pitches for a guy who's really been on the ball for the Mets. Max Scherzer is strong again. There's no doubt. His 2 starts back from rehab, pitching to an ERA, I believe, under 1. Right?
Yeah.
And striking out guys, but a changeup, a curveball, a slider, everything's working for Mad Max. Jacob deGrom's on the horizon coming back, and if the Mets are going to make a move and stay apart on top of that National League East, they're going to need those 2, because when the Mets have the Scherzer and deGrom healthy, 1 and 2, get a couple of runs for those 2, they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, just the thought of it last night. Scherzer going a solid 7 innings, giving up one earned run, and
Yeah.
today it was supposed to. In all reality, it would have been DeGrom tonight against the Braves. So just that 1-2 punch, especially in this division down the line in the summer, it's gonna be must watch television.
Well,
Like
the
tonight.
Mets, when they don't lose first place this week, I said they would. But it looks like they might, they might take 2 out of 3 in this series. They might even still win this one tonight. The game is in the top of the 8th right now in Atlanta. But the thing is with the Mets, again, is their bats have gone, they're coming through. Lindor is driving in the runs. Alonso's still driving in runs. 2 of the RBI leaders in the National League. However, there are things about this team that I don't like, and that's the bullpen, which I think they're going to have to address, by the August 2nd trade deadline.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Remove Edwin Diaz from the bullpen. What is the Mets bullpen, honestly? Because they gotta match up against Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, the Padres down the line. It's gonna be a tough path with a bullpen with Drew Smith that's struggling. They just DFA'd Jason.
Drew Smith, I don't trust him. Lugo, I don't trust him. Ottavino, I don't trust. They really need to address this. They really do. Edwin Diaz cannot be the guy all the time. He can't today. He's looking to pitch again tonight, 4th straight game, and that's not happening. And Diaz has been phenomenal. Here's a guy, Wiz, that I will admit, like a lot of Met fans, gave up on him. Said, no way. He's the best closer in the game.
Yeah,
you see his strikeout. You see his stats with the strike. I think it's a phenomenal stat. Do you have that in front of you? 19 saves, 76 strikeouts, and 36 in the 3rd innings. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think he struck out more than half of his batters faced all season. So that just speaks for itself. He's definitely the top closer across the league, along with Josh Hader with Milwaukee.
And then he may be even better than Hader right now. National League All-Star. The Mets can count on Edwin Diaz. The rest of the bullpen, forget about it. Go back to the Orioles and look at their rookie catcher. This is why the Orioles are in a wild card hunt.
Yeah, the Adley Rutschman, he got pulled up in mid-May, and since he's gotten called up, the Orioles are 24-17 with him, and obviously they still stand 5th in the AL East, but on an 8-game winning streak, that speaks for a lot in a rebuilding franchise in Baltimore.
They've done a great job rebuilding there in Baltimore, that's for sure.
Against teams like the Rays and Yankees, Red Sox, they're matching up against them.
They're in a grasp of a wild card berth as we're at the halfway point of the season now. Julio Rodriguez, American League All-Star, Seattle Mariners, Rookie of the Year bound. This kid continues to impress game by game, Wiz.
Yeah, in the Mariners' 8-game winning streak, he's batting .281 with 2 homers. He's 4th in Major League Baseball with 21 stolen bases. He's only 21 years old, so this guy is going to be the face of the franchise in Seattle for the long term.
So let's take a look now. We reached the halfway point of the Major League Baseball season and look at the standing as they are. And this is interesting because 20 teams are in first place division. 20 teams have in the first place division lead or wild card race situation, all within 3 games of a lost column or playoff berth, and including those O's and Mariners. And that's pretty damn interesting as you hit the halfway point of baseball. It's obvious the American League does not have a dominant team except the Houston Astros. That is obvious. And in the National League, there's a little more power in there. But what's got me really the first half of this baseball season is the amount of teams that are below 500, which says something. Take a look at these standings real quick. Let's look at it and comment as we go along, because the Mets hanging on to that first place lead with the Braves. The Phillies are not out of it, in fact, in the wild card situation, right? Forget about Miami and the Nationals. And the Marlins still could make a wild card shot. What do you think of the National League East?
Yeah, the National League East, there's elite teams everywhere. Even Miami, they're 4 games out entering today in the wild card. And with Atlanta and New York are going to go back and forth as we see with the standings. What is it, 1.5 entering tonight?
That's
Milwaukee and St. Louis are just going to go back and forth in the NL Central.
And that's a
And-
2-game. Well, that's only a 2-game advantage there for the Brewers. And the Cardinals are going to be busy at the deadline. I'm sure they're going to be looking for pitching. They need that. Steve and Matt's still out. Flattery's still out. You look at the Brewers, and they're always in the postseason with Greg Counsell as the manager. Forget about the rest of that division. So you're looking at the Brewers and the Cardinals. And you go to the West, the Dodgers have a nice advantage over the Padres. The Padres, though, are going to make this a race. They're not 100% back at health yet. And Fernando Tatis will make his season debut in the second half.
Yeah, Tatis is the face of the Padres. And he had, 200,000 votes? Meanwhile, he hasn't played for the whole season yet. He has 200,000 votes for the All-Star game. So his fan base carries, and you see it.
Now you look at the American League East, and here the Yankees. Well, you might as well give them the division already. Give them the pennant. They never lose. We know that. They hardly lose with this remarkable first half that they've had. But Tampa Bay, Boston, and Toronto, even though they're so far behind and have no chance of catching the Yankees, we know unless some type of disaster occurs, they will be probably 3 teams coming out of the American League East that will make the wild card with the expanded format.
Yeah, for sure. You got Toronto; they're proven. Even Tampa, we've seen it year in and year out. But with going back to Toronto, Jose Barrios pitched tonight, 13 strikeouts, so he's back in full force. Alex Manoah is a proven veteran pitcher already, and 3 years in. So if they make a run, and they're bound to in August, they're going to be in that wild card hunt come September.
And then they go to the Central, and the Twins and the Guardians are going to have a race at 3.5 games out coming into tonight, the Guardians. And the Twins are always a team to look at because their pitching is always an issue. But the offense with the Twins, they seem to score runs and they support their pitching staff. The West, the Astros the Houston Astros. They're the Houston Astros. They have the big lead next to the Yankees. 12 games up on the Mariners will vie for a wild card. And that's it. The wild card, I think right now, a couple of close division races going into the second half. And the wild card, with the expansion of it, will be the center of attention in the second half of the season after the All-Star break.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of teams that are going to be buying. And as you stated before, a lot of teams that are already selling. We've seen the trade rumors go on, especially for the New York teams. Mets definitely need a bullpen help. And another DH hitter. Honestly, the overall.
And we'll talk trade. Yeah, we'll talk more about the trade deadline later because now this came out this week. I hate the concept. We've talked about it with Tom Gamboa, but the World Baseball Classic returns next year, and the finals will be in Miami. There's the bracket whiz. What do you think of it? I really don't care about it. I'd rather they play this after this season, not at the beginning of spring training when players disperse and have to go all over the place.
Well, I'm really excited for the Dominican Republic. That roster is going to be stacked. Here you go. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Jose Ramirez, Wander Franco, Machado, Rafael Devers, and on the mound, their ace would be Sandy Alcantara, the frontrunner for the NL Cy Young. He's 9-3 with a 1.73 ERA, 130 innings pitched. The next guy in that category has 112 innings pitched. So it just shows that Miami, 4 games out of the wild card, it's because Sandy Alcantara every 5 days.
Cy Young Award winner in the National League. I saw him pitch Citi Field on Sunday. Guy's unhittable. He's got a great fastball. He's got a great slider. He's got it all. The repertoire of a great pitcher. That's him. All right. Mets Braves continues. They conclude this 3-game series tomorrow down in Atlanta. And they'll play a lot with each other, Mets Braves, so in the second half. I think the Braves are going to give the Mets a run for it. I thought the Mets, if they don't make an addition during the trade deadline, the Mets will lose first place. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, for sure. They have to make a move, at least 1 or 2, because like you said, DH, bullpen. But we've seen it the first 2 games in Atlanta. The bullpen struggles. Scherzer, 3rd time in against an elite hitting team with Atlanta. Any pitcher's going to struggle, but Scherzer did a little, and we saw it again with Peterson tonight in the 6th. Matt Olson 2-run homer, and again tonight bullpen. It just speaks for itself every other game.
It does. And the Braves, Riley, Acuna, and Rosario are 3 dangerous parts of that Braves lineup, along with Matt Olson. Tonight.
It seems like Austin Riley is always showing up when the moment's needed. On defense, too, And our guest interview from a few weeks back, Bill Coppola was bringing it up, former MLB scout. Ron Washington has laid his foundation on the Braves infield. You see it night in and night out.
He's always been that defensive-minded manager and coach, and he brought it over to the Braves. Very instrumental in what he did last year in their run to the World Championship. All right, the All-Star Game is next Tuesday. It's a glorified exhibition to me. I rather, whatever. I could watch it. I don't have to watch it. We'll be on it, though, next week with 2 hours of Major League Baseball All-Star coverage in Los Angeles. This is interesting. 28 international-born All-Stars this year, 18 from the American League, 10 for the National League. Dominican Republic has 11, Venezuela 8, Cuba and Puerto Rico 2. Aruba, Bahamas is very diverse. 75% of the team is a diverse team that shows that baseball is indeed an international game. To see this, 6 Yankees on the All-Star team, 4 Mets, 5 Astros, 5 Braves, 30 players first appearance, 21-year-old Julio Rodriguez, Jordan Alvarez probably won't play for the Astros, and he should. Too bad he's hurt. Verlander and Kershaw won't. Verlander won't start against Kershaw. We wanted to see that, but it's been said. Dusty Baker said today Verlander is not going to start in the All-Star game, though he's still a member of the team. What do you make of the makeup of the rosters of both teams, briefly, Wiz?
It's one of my favorite times of the year, the Midsummer Classic, but I'm super stoked to see Nestor Cortez on the mound. The dude is sensational. He did slow down in the month of June, but the guy has it all. I always say he has that Dontrelle Willis mechanic type on the mound, but love seeing Cortez 7-3 on the year, 2.7 ERA, 95 strikeouts. Another guy I like to see, Alonso, obviously, Pete Alonso going for the, three-peat with the home run derby?
Yeah, be the first one to do I don't like that derby either. Someone can get hurt. I hope Alonso is making the right decision. He's going to be in there with Albert Pujols, who's that designated Commissioner Rob Manfred, Miguel Cabrera, and Pujols got honorary positions with both the American League and National League All-Stars. Pujols hit a home run tonight as well. He continues to amaze. National League RBI, again, he pulled an accomplishment. He passed Stan Musial all-time in extra base hits yesterday, 1,378. He just continues to do what he does. And Cabrera, that's his 12th All-Star appearance. Pujols is 11th. So it'd be nice to see those two. JD Martinez got in because they today three players that didn't get on the rosters were replacement players. J.D. Martinez of the Red Sox, Garrett Cooper from the Marlins, and I believe Carlos Rodon, who should have got on that staff without being a replacement. And he's on there. He replaces Josh Hader. So you know what? To me, it's just a glorified exhibition, but it's something to showcase baseball's international stars that they have. As you saw that stat I gave, 75% of both rosters are diverse, international, and young rising superstars, including Soto and Alvarez and company. I mean, it's amazing how MLB has gone so worldwide.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And mention Acuna facing the Mets tonight. But we're going to switch topics. We have our guest here, Julian Rodriguez. So we're going to throw to a quick break.
We will go to we'll come back and do some more baseball in a moment. We're going to keep it in the ring, and then we'll get Julian Rodriguez on and do a sports update. Julian, hang in there. We're going to take a quick break. Come in with you. Keep you on a few minutes and talk about your big fight coming up, your comeback fight at the end of the month, the American Dream in East Rutherford with the Bella Boxing. It's Rich Mancuso Sports with Rich. That's the Wiz Robert Rizzo. Back after this, and we'll jump to keep it in the ring and do more baseball again after that.
What's good, everybody? My name is Caleb from the Bayou City Boys over here on the SLG Network. Happy to announce that we are now working with Dano's Seasoning. So if you're anything like me, you meal prep all the time, Dano's is the way to go, man. They got multiple flavors. Hit them up. Be sure to use our code SLG Network. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone.
Well, I have a lot more baseball to do. We'll get back to it, but he jumped in early, and I'm glad he's here. We're going to keep it in the ring a little early tonight. Sports with Rich Mancuso, The Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Like, comment, and subscribe here on SLG Network. Also on our YouTube pages, of course, mine, Rich Mancuso. And we're here every Tuesday night live, 10 p.m., as you know. Like, comment, subscribe, give us a comment in the queue, and let's bring in our guest tonight, our first guest of the night. Pleasure to know him a long time. Was an amateur, now a pro. Julian Rodriguez, Hammerhands Rodriguez.
What's up, guys? Thank you for
You're
having
lower
me.
down your volume a little bit.
Uh-oh.
We're getting a volume. There we go. Do you hear us okay now?
I hear you great. You want me to lower my mic volume, or is it good?
Maybe a little bit.
All right, let me see.
I don't want to disrupt the champ. I don't want his hammer his hands on me.
Let me have the orange.
All right, Julian, I think we got you out of Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. 21-0, 14 knockouts. He's headlining the Abella boxing card. Fight Night 2, as they're labeling it, at American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. He's got an 8-round fight coming up against Jeremy McLaurin, super lightweight division, 8 rounds. And it's good to have you back in the ring, Julian. It's been a long time. What's going on?
Thank you for having me here, first and foremost. Thank you, Robert, man. Thank you, Rich. Everything's good, man. Training's been going very well for this fight. The reason why it's been a while since I've been in the ring is because, honestly, guys, I've been dealing with a contract dispute. And this is, I guess, the first time I'm really going public with it, with my manager and stuff like that. And, you know, he mostly works with Top Rank, and I no longer am signed to them. My contract with them, it expired. A lot of people were under the impression that I was released, but that was not the case. You know, it was expired last July, I believe. And, you know, my manager pretty much solely works with that company, and I don't have any respect for that company, especially because of the way that they handled not only my career, but a lot of my stablemates' careers. They seem to favor certain under-the-table deals or certain, you know, just certain mindsets and things like that, and they don't do well with promoting American fighters. They don't really have American superstars or household names, so I think it was just not a good fit. It wasn't a good fit for me. I've been trying to get out of that contract since 2015, so it's been a hell of a ride with them. But I feel like now moving forward, you know, I'm projected to pretty much sign with PBC, and I think that's the route we're going to take. I did do this show with Scott Abella. He's a close friend of mine. I've known him since I'm 10 years old. So I feel like this is a good fight for me to get back into it, get the buzz going again, especially right here in Bergen County in front of all my people. The last 4 years I've been fighting in Vegas, so Vegas is cool and everything, but I love my Jersey people, so I like to feel that support. Yeah.
So you're looking forward to the event, obviously, and your first connection with Bella Boxing overall. So how's the work been and training with Bella Boxing?
Well, they're just promoting the event. As far as Scott Abella, he you know, he owns a body shop, and he's been a family friend since we're 10 years old. And recently he's you know, started this journey as a promoter. And you know, once I actually got approached by American Dream personally, because they were just saying, oh, listen, we want to do a boxing event here and we want you to headline it. Who do we talk to? How do we get this going? So I put Scott in the mix because, you know, I felt like it would be a great match, and the chemistry is already there. And you know, as well as, you know, everybody knows, the boxing is a very dirty business, man. So, you know, if we do some business with good people, then it just makes everything smoother. Everyone's more comfortable, and people value the people that they do come across that seem to be very transparent and straightforward in terms of business deals, especially in this terrible, dirty sport. But everything's been great with that. The training camp, though, has been remarkable. I've been doing my training in Patterson for this camp. Usually I'm out in Vegas, but this one, a close friend, Jose Concepcion, owns the gym, and that's where we're doing the training. My dad is my head coach. We have Butch Sanchez as my assistant coach, and Jose will also be in the corner as well. Butch has had about 8 world champions under his resume, so we're working with a pretty extensive team. I have 2 strength and conditioning coaches. I have Coach Ali, who's more so of the heavy lifting and conditioning aspect, and I have Coach Todd Williams, who's been helping me just gaining strength, body strength. And I feel like because of my previous injuries, I've kind of, my body strength it's just kind of declined over the years. So I feel like I've definitely seen a huge improvement in his involvement in my camp. So I'm really excited about that.
It's Julian Hammer and Rodriguez highlighting in the Bella Box Show 8-rounder, July 29th. By the way, it's televised live on BYNG XNG TV. I'm one of the ringside commentators. It's going to be a pleasure broadcasting the fight up front, Julian. And it'd be good to see you back in action. Now, your last fight, you only lost. And I know you don't like talking about fighters, don't like talking about their first loss. And it came later in your career. The Jose Pedraza fight was not one of your best. And again, you're attributing that to an injury, right?
Yeah, I learned a lot throughout that whole experience in general. We're very confident. We know our potential and what we're capable of doing in the ring as far as my team. It's just a matter of when you're going against a 2-time world champion and someone of that pedigree, you need to be 100%. Up until then, there were plenty of times, and it's very common amongst professional athletes that when they do go into their event, the game or the fight, that they're not 100%, and they gotta suck it up, man. They gotta push through it, and that's where champions are. That's how champions are bred. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, when I did set out to Vegas, I did have like a really bad injury. I got it through sparring. I was sparring top level competition out there. I trained in Salas's gym, Ismael Salas, Cuban Olympic coach, trains Yordenis Ugas, Rolando Robesi. So I'm around a lot of top talent, and there was just a sparring session there that I got hit really hard on my rib. Initially, we thought it was just maybe bruised or soreness, but then as time went on, we thought it was torn cartilage. We got the word that it was a torn cartilage, but then a week away from the fight, we realized it was actually fractured. So that really, honestly, the actual injury didn't really affect me much in the fight. It was more so I had to completely take off training. No more sparring, and this is the last 4 or 5 weeks of the camp where you're supposed to be doing everything, 110%. So there was no more sparring. I didn't even go to the gym, the boxing gym. I would just have to do workouts that required no upper body twisting movements. So any type of punching where I'm twisting I couldn't do it because it was aggravating the injury. So I just had to keep just straight running, conditioning, losing the weight, stuff like that. Light shadow boxing, light pad work in the fitness center in my hotel. And, when you're dealing with fights on this level, that is not what you're supposed to do. I kept it quiet because I felt like maybe there will be a turnaround some point, maybe within 2 weeks of the fight, where I can, kind of grasp the training camp and kind of get in some, just adjust to what was going on in the camp. But it just didn't happen, and I ended up walking into that fight really like 30% of myself. I don't take anything away.
Yeah.
I don't take anything away from music.
What do you listen to when you're training? That's what somebody's asking right now, Julian. And we apologize for the echo. We're having a technical issue here. Well, John's working on it behind the scenes, but that's a part of the live broadcast.
It's probably my end.
No, it could be me too. I'm horrible with technology. Julian, that's an interesting question. How do you relax? What type of music you listen to?
I'm pretty diverse in terms of my, what I listen to. depends if I have sparring days, or it even depends on who I'm surrounded by, which coaches, you know what I mean? Lately, on my when I know I have a hard training session, I'll really put on some DMX and really allow that pump, you know what I mean? Other days, you know, I could listen to house music when I'm in the gym and just have a feel for just being in a good mood and being in a dancing mood. So when I'm in the ring, I feel like I'm more elusive. You know, when I'm running, I like to listen to like artists like The Weeknd, which take my mind somewhere else, because I like to be
Good
distracted.
choice. I love them. They motivate me.
Yeah. When I'm running and stuff, I like to take my mind off of the fact that I'm running. So my body pretty much runs on autopilot and my mind is somewhere else. You know, I'm also a music producer as well, so I have to kind of be open to different genres, because if I have artists that come to record with me, I have to adapt to whatever they want. If they say they want a Justin Bieber pop song or sound or whatever, I have to know what that sounds like and be able to, you know, provide that for them. So
How have you been able to adjust? You've always been a fighter that I've watched up close. Has been able to adjust in your fights. Is that still going to be part of your style that we're going to see on July 29th?
Absolutely. In the past, I feel like, you know, earlier in my career, I was more on the attack mode, sitting down and walking the opponent down. Then I had to get a surgery on my shoulder. And in that time, during the recovery, I just realized I wanted to sharpen other aspects of my game. So maybe, you know, because it would hurt more when I would throw the hook, so maybe just throwing jabs more. So I started to throw more jabs and focus on my jabs and my footwork and angles and things like that. This way, by the time the shoulder was completely healed, I feel like my attributes sort of progressed and I got better. You know, I matured as a pro. I do feel like now in this stage, looking back, I might have given some opponents too much respect in there, where I would be trying to, like, you know, use footwork and things like that when I could have just went forward and got them out. And I think I'm in that part of my career now, where I'm finding that tenacity back and I'm feeling myself again.
That's good to hear.
In 22 fights, you have a 63% knockout percentage. Was that speak for your firepower?
You know what? It should have been more. The injury caused me to right directly after my injury, there were a lot of fights where I wouldn't go to take them out. It would just be more to, you know, or I couldn't, you know, if my arm wasn't as strong anymore at the time, you know. So like a lot of times I feel like, oh, I normally could have got this guy out, but because I don't want to re-injure my shoulder or I don't want to look ugly in my style and stuff like that, I would just be clean and just win the fight on points and just dominating in terms of skill, you know. But if I would have never injured my shoulder, man, I don't know, it would have been a lot higher. I would definitely say above like 80-85%. You know?
Yeah, you were on your way. Are you still comfortable fighting at 140?
You know what?
Is this a decision that you feel you're going to stay in?
For a while, I was struggling. You know, I've been 140 since I'm 16 years old. I'm currently 27. But, you know, I've cycled in and out through different nutritionists, and I didn't seem to ever really find one that works with me. But recently, you know, you know, fighters don't usually talk about this, but my girlfriend is very knowledgeable in terms of nutrition, and she's been really hands-on with my camp, and this has literally been the easiest weight cut of my life. So I really am excited to, I think I'm going to keep moving forward at 140. I do anticipate moving to 147 in the next maybe year and a half or 2 years, because you know what, I think the bigger money is there as well, and I think it's time.
Those are the two divisions in the sport. 140 and 147. At 140, you have a tough hill to climb. You know that.
Right.
So coming out of this fight on July 29th, how consistent will you be again?
Well, I'm already in talks with my future management, which is Al Heyman, Louis DeCubis, very credible, pretty much the top guys in the business, to be honest with you. You know, and we're going to be very fighting very frequently. And it all depends, of course, on how the fights turn out and how many rounds it goes, the level of damage, or things like that, of course. But I anticipate getting right back into the gym. There's no off time. I have a lot of catching up to do. And I got to take advantage of the time and the times that I feel healthy and I'm motivated. You know what I mean?
Other than constantly
How, Robert, what is it? I gotta ask him this. You're fighting an 8-rounder on July 29th. You're a fighter accustomed fighting 10 and 12 rounders. How are you training for that? What is the difference?
Training different. Before I would just have to focus on dropping weight a lot. Because I feel like maybe I wasn't as knowledgeable, or maybe I just didn't have the right people around me to really, guide me in the right direction in terms of my nutrition. And I feel like my camps were wasted, or were targeted more towards dropping the weight as opposed to maybe strengthening certain attributes of mine, or, paying more attention to other aspects of my game. With this camp, I have everything covered all around, man. I have the strength training, I have the nutrition right, I have the sparring right, I have a track coach that I've been working with. So we're really crossing all the T's here and dotting all the I's here for this fight. It's really about the camps for me. I'm looking forward to the fight, of course, but we're looking forward to how we're going to move forward and how, and just really adapting and changing and evolving as a fighter. That's really important. So.
Other than constantly training, do you currently watch the sport? Do you consider yourself a student in the game, picking up skills?
Yeah, of course. I grew up in this sport, man, so it's pretty much all I know. I love it for many reasons, and I'm also the only fighter that is involved in boxing as pretty much in general. I set up the rings, I commentate. Right. I the other day I did a referee job. I'm also a fighter, you know what I mean? And eventually, once I'm retired, I definitely, for sure, really need to be in the boxing business because,
it's in your blood.
Yeah, but this sport is terrible. It is dirty. There's a lot of programs, including the amateurs, that need a lot of work. That I feel like just sudden little changes can make a huge impact in not only the community but for these kids and just for the whole amateur program in general. I feel like the money gets to people and the greed as far as on the pro level, and there's just a lot of people in the business world, that they don't have good intentions. And I feel like no matter what I obtain, no matter what happens in my boxing career, whether I become world champion, I make a ton of money or not, this is something that I feel passionate about, and it's something that will be a part of my life until I'm in that casket. So that's how I feel about that.
So you've experienced some bad things in the sport, obviously. Top Rank, you mentioned, that was your original promoter. I can relate to that because on my end of the business, I've seen it all the time with fighters and promoters. And if you're heading to the PBC and you're working with those guys, you're going to be in good shape. Because they weren't the guys in your division, in your weight class. And I'll tell you one thing. Scott Abella making you the main event. That's a great move, friend.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I also, moving forward, I believe we're going to be in negotiations to establish more of a almost like a residency over there at American Dream. I know Al Heyman, he likes to have his shows at the Barclays Center and the Prudential Center, and I fought at the Prudential and never at the Barclays because Top Rank doesn't do shows there, but I'm going to talk to Scott. No matter who I'm signed to, PBC, or even if I eventually come to the table and the deal doesn't work out, or I go to Matchroom or something, I will always do at least one show headlining the American Dream moving forward for
That's great to hear.
3 to 5
How
years.
did you get the name Hammerhands? And I'm going to leave you with that.
You know what? I think it was very organic. It was very organic. My dad, he's actually very witty and very clever, and everyone that comes to the gym, he always gives them a funny nickname or a nickname that when he calls them that, even they laugh, like, and it's kind of funny. But when I think I obtained that name when I was 10 years old. My dad gave me that name. And it just stuck. It flows off the tongue real nice, and it's good for branding.
Catchy.
You know what I mean? It's catchy. 2 H's. It's good. It's good on many levels. So I thank him now as an adult that he thought of that, 17 years ago.
And he still got it. Julian Hammerhand Rodriguez. John, let's put up the fight poster for the Abella boxing card. July 29th, American Dream in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And this young man is still young, still got it, highlighting the 10-fight card. On Friday, July 29th, televised on the BXNG TV. I'll be commentating it. Liz will be there. We got some good fights on that card, but this guy, Julian Hammerhand Rodriguez, makes a return to the ring in an 8-round main event. His opponent is Jeremy McLaurin. And we're looking forward to it, Hammer. We're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring and working with you. I'm gonna see you at the gym tomorrow.
Right. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys over there and continuing the conversation, man.
Thank you for joining us.
We got it. And you have a future in broadcasting too. You speak
That's
very
why
well.
that's why I'm on the commentating thing now. So I'm trying to hit all the angles, man.
I know. I experienced it. I've interviewed you many times, Sham. I had you as a guest at ringside during the first Abella show in early April.
Yes.
And you know what? I felt that was it. My job is done. And I said, maybe I should go back in the ring and put him at the commentating table. Good job, Julian. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys, man. Have a good night.
See you tomorrow.
See
Put
you.
in the ring.
That's right.
Julian Hammer Rodriguez headlining again Abella Boxing. East Rutherford, New Jersey, American Dream, Friday night, July 29th, televised on BXNG TV. Back with more sports with Rich. We'll do more keeping in the ring and much more on the other side with the Wiz Robert Rizzo after this.
Doing bad, they gon' love you. Doing good, they gon' hate you. Look down on your come up, but to the hustle, stay faithful. Big goals by the rate full. Drip everywhere, that's wasteful. Accent color, that's tasteful. We front and center at the tape. Got 3-5 in my blunt. 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I was out of luck. Yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. Save me a gold casket. My life been tragic. Good gas and blunts pass. Blow out a nigga head gaskets. Fuck boys, don't need them. Yo, bitch crazy, better keep her. Yo, niggas high when it's time to ride, but I bet that bitch start squeezing. Smoke sessions in the evening. Private chef and we eat it. It's a long way from voyeur to 4 years in Lamborghinis. Move different, can't see me. Only pictures ain't on TV. Tribe meetings and vibe readings. These space race like E.T. We had roaches in the kitchen. Nice rooms in the villa. Took the cards I was dealt, flipped them. I'm the one who do the dealing. Did so much of my own, baby, I don't give a fuck about feelings. Everybody got a lot to say, but ain't nobody came with it. Fuck it, I spend it. Had it, I lent it. Trusted some niggas, now I regret it. I can forgive it, never forget it. Niggas still out there, I ain't gon' get it. Yeah, this is it, I can't slow up. Niggas muddy from the pole up. Big sauce like a cold cut, you either hoe up or you gon' blow up. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I was out of luck, yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that. Show her in the truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that. Where the ghost mean power, you a star, Omari Hardwick. Seen a lot of hardships, we was taking long trips, talking through the glass, gotta medicate with strong hits of ganja. Gotta watch how people move around you. My brother got sittings cause of snitch. Niggas dying over bitches, niggas lie like it's religion. If you been dying, you feel me? Gotta keep applying pressure, double up, that boy can stretch it. Good credit or no credit, they need it, go get it. Lil' baby, this is me, what you get is what you see, and you best believe we wore red. Got 3-5 in my blunt, 4 extra mud in my cup, yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that, I'm feeling that. I was out of luck, yeah, now my money up. Yeah, they feeling that, they feeling that, they feeling that. Show her in a truck, then throw it in the guts. Yeah, she feeling that, she feeling that, she feeling that. Niggas talking tough, yeah, till we pulling up. Now he feeling that, he feeling that, he feeling that.
Rich Mancuso back with Sports with Rich with the Wiz, Robert Rizzo, live on the SLG Network. Thanks to Hammer Hands, Julian Rodriguez again. We got Keep It in the Ring in a little early, and we're going to continue that, Wiz. Then we'll go back to baseball. We have a lot to do with that at the top of the second hour here on the show tonight. What'd you think, Julian? We're going to see him tomorrow.
Yeah.
He was very
electric. No, he was looking forward to the fight, very excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow, spar, seeing him up close. But
and you know, we had a little. Yeah, good.
We're less than 3 weeks away, so tickets are still available for anyone out there looking for tickets. And
you know,
American Dream Mall, it's perfect for all the jerseys.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great night. Tickets are selling really well. It's going to be over 2,000 for 2,500 people at the venue, and yeah, look, let's face it. We're both a part of this promotion, and I'm looking forward to being there, calling the fights at ringside. Scott Abell is doing a great job. These are the promoters that boxing needs. Promoting guys that don't get the attention. But Julian's a made headliner. He's been there before, and he's coming back. And we wish him the best of luck, and we're going to see him tomorrow. We're going to do more Keep It in the Ring. I got to get the fact of the weekend first. We were improvising now because Julian came in early. Not that he disrupted us, but I need to do that. Hold on, it dropped. That means that's a bad sign. It dropped on the floor. Yeah. I got to get the cap. And I want to tell everybody, please comment, like, and subscribe. SLG Network Sports with Rich. And hey, do you have a different name for the show? Was the Wiz started all this?
I did not.
His supporters and followers said that it should be something else, not just Sports with Rich. Well, he's my co-host. So if you have a suggestion to rename the show, I'm all for it. I don't care. But you know what? You are an instigator, my friend. How about Sports with Rich Man and Robbie Baseball?
Yeah.
Who said that? Who
Kevin
come up
Heenan.
with that?
Kevin Heenan in the YouTube comments.
Oh, okay. Let's write that down. It's something. I don't like it, but it's something we're going to look into.
We'll put it on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list because you're the one that started this. You're the one that started this. All right. So continue to comment, and subscribe as well here at the SLG Network Sports with Rich and Rich Mancuso on my YouTube page. I'm going to get the fact of the week, and then we'll continue Keep It in the Ring. All right. Because no one got the Aaron Judge bobblehead yet. It's been here for 3 weeks, maybe a month. Because
Someone take it off of Rich's hands. Come on.
Yeah, I'm tired of looking at it. It's because the fact of the week no one can get. Maybe you'll get it this week. Any of you out there, here it is. There is a term in sports called hands down. It's a phrase. My fact this week is not a trivia question, of course. Hands down is a sports phrase. That's where it comes from. So where did it come from? What's the fact about that?
Where did it come from?
John, jump in if you have an answer now, but then I'm going to get to you in a little while because you got to do an update and we'll Keep It in the Ring with you as well. Hands down. It's a sports phrase. Where does it come from? It's a fact.
I gotta think about it.
You always have to think about my facts of the week because you never get them. You get it again later.
I'm never close.
No, yeah, I wouldn't say that. You come close once in a while. You young puppy. You Twitter monkey.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to Keep It in the Ring. Round 2 here after Julian Rodriguez. And we'll talk some boxing. Now, how about this fight over the weekend on Showtime? Mateo, the Filipino, losing to Ray Vargas as the Mexicans continue to dominate boxing, as I wrote on Latinosports.com this week. 12-round split decision for the WBC featherweight title, and now Vargas has it in his hands. Hands down, as I said. And Leo Santa Cruz might be a fight coming up for him. We'll see. That's what he wants. He wants to unify as well. I love Vargas. Power, jab, good footwork. Deserved to win. Mateo will go back to the drawing board. He's a Manny Pacquiao protege, so he's got a lot of fight in him to come back. Ryan Garcia this Saturday returns to the ring. The media internet sensation, the lightweight, looking to beat Javier Fortuna on the zone. Fortuna, Dominican with power, is going to give this fight is a test for Garcia. If Garcia wins it, and then he's in line for maybe Devin Haney, Kambosos, or any other, Lomachenko, the lightweight division, again, one of the tops in the sport as well. Look to see Ryan Garcia back in the ring this weekend. Got a new trainer, Joe Goosens' trainer. Saturday night.
Where?
That's in Los Angeles, I think. I believe it's in LA.
The crypto arena. Well,
yeah, everything is at that crypto arena. That's a cryptic arena, all right. Yeah, so he'll be. Yeah. Now this guy, the problem, Adrian Broner was announced. He's coming back. Great, talented fighter, but always in problems. He returns versus Omar Figueroa, junior lightweight bout, August 20th on Showtime from Hollywood, Florida. A fight that's been rescheduled that was canceled in 2018 because Figueroa was injured. And, of course, Omar is the younger brother of Brandon Figueroa, who fought Saturday night on that Vargas card on Showtime. Who he defeated Carlos Castro, his brother. So Adrian, the problem child, Broner, who I could pass on. I don't know where he's headed in this sport, but he's coming back. On the undercard of that fight, Alberto Pulo and here we go, the vacant WBA junior welterweight title that Josh Taylor vacated. This division that Julian Rodriguez is in. Alberto Pulo is involved in a eliminator match for that on the undercard of that fight. Let's take a look at Jake Paul today. Like, I really care, but I got to talk about it. Did you see that press conference in Madison Square Garden today? It was on YouTube worldwide. I could have been. I got invited. I didn't go because I'm not a Jake or Logan Paul fan. Hakeem Rahman Jr. and him went at it. Tommy Fury was supposed to be Paul's opponent, but that's not happening, so Rahman took the fight. They went at it, and Rahman says he's going to beat Paul, and Paul hasn't fought anyone like this before. He's the son of the former heavyweight champion, Amanda Serrano, the female lightweight sensation that sold out Madison Square Garden 2 months ago. Dropped her lightweight titles to Katie Taylor. She's on the undercard. She's a business partner in the promotion with Paul. I am not a Paul, Logan, or Jake Paul fan at all. Neither one. And Jake and Jake is in the Logan's in the WWE. He signed a multi-contract we're going to talk about, but Jake Paul's got a foul mouth, and I want to see him finally meet a fighter and get knocked out because this guy Rahman's a fighter. Jake Paul hasn't fought, despite what he says, any prominent fighters, and now he's got one. Yeah,
his opponent's 31 years old, so he's right there, right?
Yeah, and his father's a former heavyweight title holder.
And
I don't know.
That's at the Garden, August 6th. That's coming up.
Yeah, it's on Showtime pay-per-view too. Like, you got to go pay-per-view for a fight like this? Nonsense.
He was on the radio today calling out Tommy Fury and Dana White for the fight contracts throughout the
Yeah, I know.
How it's not fair.
Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez, 150-pound title defense against Israel Gonzalez. Co-main event on the Canelo Alvarez Triple G card coming up in Vegas, the trilogy, September 17th at the T-Mobile Arena. Top rank, junior welterweight now is Teofimo Lopez. He wants to do the takeover there. He'll be back in the ring after a year. was announced a couple of days ago. Pedro Campo, August 13th on ESPN, and the young sensation for Puerto Rico, the lightweight Xander Zayas, will be on that card. So, I'm looking forward to seeing Teofimo back in the ring after a year and see what impact he can make now as he moves up in weight. All right. Enough boxing talk. Keep it in the ring, pro wrestling. And now let's bring John in. John, you there?
Yeah.
Hello,
right
John. Of course, he's
I'm
never
right
going to
here.
be late. He wants to talk wrestling with me. He also hosts Around the Ropes, or is it Inside the Ropes?
No, around the ropes. Rich, you got it right.
I got it right.
There we go.
I finally got it right. Now let me look at what I got to ask you because I'm my rundown here on the show is a little discombobulated. I don't know. So we'll start off with WWE. Did you see that note, John, about WrestleMania in Dallas? This one in Dallas in April. How it set a record with
$200 million.
So you knew that, yeah. See, 200 million, which is the all-time high for WrestleMania, and it would also the one thing about WrestleMania and Wiz getting all new to this stuff, though he does follow wrestling, but not like us. The one thing that really, really gets me on this, John, is, which is so important, significant, is the fact that WrestleMania to every city is an income. What do you say? Bonanza. They always make money. And they made a lot of money on this one for 2 nights in Dallas, and they'll do it again in LA at Spotify Stadium next April.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the new trend going further. Is we're going to get 2 nights of Mania.
I had the figure in front of me of how much the city made. Oh, here it is. It generated $206.5 million in the city, which is big. First time more than 200 million, more than $1 billion has been done with WrestleManias and WWE in the past 12 events. That's incredible. $12 billion, over $1 billion in the last 12 events. They drew over 156,352 fans in 2 nights at AT&T Stadium there. Now that's unbelievable. Pro wrestling, WrestleMania. When I was in the business with WrestleMania, it was never in the outdoor big orbit like this, the big stadium. So they really, really, no matter what adversity they're under all the time, they always do it at WrestleMania. That's why they call it the granddaddy of them all, their big event.
Well, you also have to remember, you also have a lot of independent companies running shows that weekend.
Did you guys discuss that on your show tonight or last
No,
night?
we didn't get a chance to.
Well, now
What
you
you were
just,
talking
I'm
about,
glad.
Vince.
I'm glad we went over that. All right, Wiz, listen, you'll learn some pro wrestling. Keep it in the ring. All right, some more. What do you make, John, of The Undertaker and talk about him maybe making a cameo again at SummerSlam coming up later this month in a few weeks? Or him even having another match?
I can't say I'm surprised anymore. I mean, look at Ric Flair. He's in his 70s and he's set to have another match the same weekend. So doesn't surprise me anymore, but I think it's ridiculous in my opinion.
What's going on with Theory now? I watched Monday Night Raw last night, and here he is with the briefcase, Money in the Bank, and now he's looking at Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. What's going on with this young punk? He annoys me. Very talented, but this character of Theory just annoys me. He's just very obnoxious, annoying young punk. He's not like the Wiz. I don't call the Wiz a young punk. Young puppy, Twitter monkey. What is it with Theory? Where are we headed with Theory? What are you hearing?
I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do because Ziggler just came back on.
Yeah,
Monday
that
Night
threw
Raw.
me off. What is Dolph Ziggler now? It looks like they're going to give him another push. One of the most underrated, talented superstars in the WWE, Dolph Ziggler.
It depends on how you look at it. It could be he's the veteran and he turned around to Theory and saying, I was in your shoes at one point. Wait to make the right choice. Or it's going to be that they're stooging off the fact that Ziggler's going to somehow screw Theory out of, and somehow when Theory's about to cash in on Roman, all of a
That's
sudden
what I
Ziggler
was
comes in
thinking.
and something happens.
I was thinking of that. Wiz, you got an opinion on that?
I honestly don't know. I didn't watch Money in the Bank.
See, he's not a wrestling
Yeah,
buff.
I
like us,
don't
John.
have enough knowledge to give my opinion on it.
Well, well, then I tell you, like I tell you every week, read. You don't read.
Too much.
You're
Twitter.
always on Twitter. Well, on Twitter, there's plenty of pro wrestling. You can go to Twitter for that. Okay. John E.W., Eddie Kingston and Jericho. Is this going to be a barbed wired match next week on Dynamite on TBS? That's going to be awesome, as the Miz would say. Not the Wiz, the Miz. That's going to be awesome. AEW does matches like that. WWE doesn't. I'm looking forward to that next Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a combination of the barbed wire death match and the shark cage match.
Yeah. All types
So
of
it's gonna
things that fans love
combination.
about AEW. They're doing that. And finally, Pat McAfee signing this long-term, multi-million-dollar deal, I believe, or
Yep,
whatever it
multi-year
was, with WWE as their main commentator on SmackDown with Michael Cole, and also going to be an active wrestler in the ring. We're going to see him against Corbin at SummerSlam. Two former teammates on the Indianapolis Colts, Wiz. These two are going to wrestle each other. What do you make of McAfee staying in WWE like that? I love it. I love McAfee.
I always like when he appears because it's every like 2 weeks doing what the broadcast on the side, and it feels like he's getting thrown into a table or thrown off the corner every other time. So it's always fun watching McAfee get thrown around.
But with McAfee, also you have to understand he's added a new layer to Cole right now, and
He's
making
pretty good.
Cole, yeah, he's very good.
He's good. All right, John, we're at the top of the hour. Here's what we're going to do because we're improvising. We're doing something different tonight. You're going to do a brief sports update now, but before we do that and go to another break and go into our second hour of the night on Sports with Rich, live on the SLG Network. So your show again is Beyond the Ropes?
Around the Ropes.
Around the Ropes. I did that purposely to give it more attention. And when is it on the SLG Network?
Every Tuesday and Saturday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern.
And Tuesday night before we come on the air. And I'm going to get Nick Alvarez on in a moment, talk Houston Astros when we come out of break real quick. We have a lot more baseball talk to do and continue that we didn't finish in the first segment. In the meantime, John, do you have any ideas to rename this show? Because the Wiz is an instigator. His people started this, his fans, his supporters. Change the name of the show?
We actually have one that's coming right now from Mets Fan Baseball on YouTube. He says, rename it Richmond Cuso and the Wiz Kid.
I like that. Wiz.
You like that one better?
I like it a lot. I like it.
It's got that Ken Griffey
Yeah.
Jr.
Yeah, well,
ring to
write
it.
that down. We're going to put these up for grabs and see what the fans think and put it on our social media and see what the fans think and let them choose. And I like that one. So are you writing these down, Wiz? Are you writing these down, John?
Yeah,
Because I have such a
got 'em.
short memory. Good.
I got 'em.
We'll keep that in mind. All right. John, take it to the top of the hour. Give us a sports update. Brief. I know the Mets lost. Disappointed. They'll have to go for the rubber game win tomorrow down in Atlanta. I guess the Yankees are winning again. They always do. Give us an update real quick. We'll take a brief break. Come back. The Sports with Rich. Rich Mancuso, the Wiz Robert Rizzo. Back after this. First, an update from John.
Thanks, guys. Over in Atlanta tonight, the New York Mets did lose to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 4-1. The New York Yankees right now are defeating the Cincinnati Reds by a score of 3-2. However, the Reds do have the bases loaded in the top of the ninth, and there is no outs. The Twins right now are currently losing to the Brewers by a score of 6-2. They're in the top of the sixth. The Cardinals are currently defeating the Dodgers by a score of 7-6. They're at the top of the ninth. The Athletics are currently defeating the Rangers. The Tigers are currently defeating the Royals. The Rockies are currently defeating the Padres. Those lovely Astros are currently defeating the Angels by a score of 3-1. The Giants are all over the Diamondbacks right now. They're up 8-0 in the top of the fifth. The Guardians are defeated the White Sox today by a score of 4-1, but did lose the second game in the doubleheader as White Sox defeated the Guardians by a score of 7-0. The Pirates won today. The Blue Jays won. The Rays won. The Baltimore Orioles won and are now at 500. So that's something you want to look at as we get more into the second half. The Mariners and Nationals were postponed tonight. It doesn't say specifically on here as far as what the reason. Oh, it was for rain. So probably have a makeup game tomorrow for that. We'll be right back right after this, and then we'll have Nick Alvarez, host of Bayou City Boys, on to talk some Houston Astros. You're listening to Sports with Rich right here on the SLG Network. We'll be right back right after this.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone, rich and stacking to the ceiling. I'm dick long. Could never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
Lock the door and keep your eyes shut. The lights flicker, there's evil all around us. No one's safe from the nightmare. Cold sweat, so scared. Someone get me out of here. They say you better be afraid. The night's coming like fire from a hand grenade. There's no escaping tonight. It's coming alive.
Welcome back, Sports with Rich. Top of the hour after 11 Eastern Time here on the SLG Network. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, all social media platforms, Sports with Rich, also Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. And that's me, Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. We're going to bring Nick Alvarez in, a part of the SLG Network, talk Houston Astros, because that's where he's from. We'll get him in a moment. Let's continue some of the baseball talk. We'll give you the fact of the week answer later. Still coming up later. Nobody beats the Wiz. Yes or no from that guy, Robert the Wiz Rizzo. All right. Wiz, the Mets lost tonight. The Braves had the home run ball going. Michael Harris is a Braves all-star. We got to talk about him a little bit. You can't sleep on this team. And what I'm worried about the Braves in that division with the Mets is overtaking the Mets. And I keep telling everyone, I think that's very possible. In particular, if the Mets don't make those moves out of the bullpen, get another bat in the lineup, with DeGrom back, if he's healthy, and Scherzer, I think they'll be okay. Baby Peterson did a good job tonight. The Braves are a tough team. That DeGrom and Scherzer together 1-2. That's a tremendous boost to the team if both of them stay healthy. And we've seen Scherzer now with 2 starts. He's 100% back to being Mad Max.
Yeah, Scherzer's been on a roll lately, returning from the injury. DeGrom, for the first part, 2 starts, 1 in single A. Well, 2 in single A. 4.2 innings pitched, no earned runs, 11 strikeouts. So that's vintage DeGrom. Scherzer 2 starts, no earned runs. So there you go with Scherzer. But the bullpen, as you said, that's what struggles most. Opponents are batting .218 against them. It doesn't seem like that high, but it's the home run ball. We've seen it in the past week or so. The home run ball, it kills the Mets a lot, especially tonight with Olsen. 2-run homer, they lost 4-1.
I got to look at, we're going to go over trade deadline possibilities. Now we reached a halfway point. And then waiver trade deadline, August 2nd, it was pushed back. And that's approaching pretty fast after the All-Star break next week. The Yankees don't seem like they are going to stop this machine. I think they're going to beat the Rays. They'll probably sweep the lowly Reds. And I can't believe the Reds have won that many games. They were off to such a slow start, 3 wins. Beginning of April, but there's a guy on that team that would go great in the Yankee rotation, which I don't think they need. Because if you look at Nestor Cortez, who's an all-star for the Yankees. Again, they got 6 of them. Matt Carpenter comes off the bench. That's a trade of the century. That's a pickup of the century for Brian Cashman, with the mustache and old Matt Carpenter. But the one thing that concerns me about the Yankees as they move forward with their starting staff is innings and how many innings are they going to be limited to. And the fact that if you have Cole and Cortez throwing home run balls, they've been doing that. Now, did Cole give up any home runs tonight? I didn't monitor the game that much. Did he?
No, I don't believe so. There was a late.
What was Cole's pitching line tonight?
I'll check in 1 second. But speaking of Cortez, you said the injuries and pitching limitations. Tyone and Severino have faced injuries in the past, so their innings are going to get limited soon and shortened. Cortez, I have it right here. In 2016, 2017, and 2018, in the minors, he threw more than 104 innings. So the Yankees are monitoring this stuff. He's not going to throw for 200 more innings this season. They have to monitor it for the playoffs. And
they need that for the playoffs, yeah.
And speaking of the Yankees and Cole, I'm looking right now. Cole had 7 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, but 1 walk. So it's vintage Cole, and he's showing up every 5 days. But as you said,
but he didn't give up a home run ball a night. But his next start
with the home runs,
he'll give up a home run ball after the All-Star break. He'll probably get the start. I don't think unless he's pitching in the All-Star game. I'm sure he will. He'll throw an inning, maybe a couple of batters.
I would hope so with Cole and especially Cortez, first time All-Star. I hope Cortez gets on the mound.
Yeah. One thing you don't see much more is what Shane Bieber did today with the Guardians. First Guardian to throw 9 innings, a complete game. First for the Guardians, and then when they were the Indians since August 19th of last year. 4-1 win, 3-hitter. Shane Bieber is back. The Guardians need him if they're going to make a run in the wild card, the American League Central. You don't see complete games no more. 7 games, 7 innings, 6, and then they go to the bullpen. So Bieber did that today. And then let's look at the power rankings as I had them going in tonight. Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, Mets, Astros. I'm not. I know. I could think the Astros will move them up a little bit more. They're over the Mets. I don't think the Mets are below the Astros at this point. Yankees, Dodgers, Braves, Astros, Mets. You could maybe put the Astros in there second. But what the hell are power rankings anyway? What do they mean?
Especially in July, it changes week by week. This
comes down to October.
Yeah, the Mets and Braves have 13 more games to be played from here to October. So anything can happen from that time period.
It sure did. Now, what's important to look at too is what's coming up August 2nd. Before August 2nd, you got teams. As I said earlier in the evening on the first hour of the show. What was that stat again? I got to look at it again because my memory avoids this. But how many teams are within distance of a wild card? The Orioles reached 500 tonight. The Mariners are there. That's incredible. Yeah, because you have an expanded wild card, which means you're going to see the wild card changes the complexion of baseball in October. You're going to see, I believe, a very interesting and active next few weeks leading up to August 2nd. Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be active in both leagues, especially in New York, with teams with 53 or more wins.
The Royals and Braves started the fury of activity yesterday. They traded prospects, the two teams. There's going to be more to come. The names that I'm looking at, Luis Castillo of the Reds, who I'm going to see Thursday night at Yankee Stadium. I always liked him. Great fastball, good command, good control. Just hasn't been playing for a team over the last few years that can win much. And then Montez of the A's. There's going to be a lot of teams looking for him. Maybe the Giants because they're still within reach. There's talk about maybe the Yankees looking at. I don't know why the Yankees want to break up chemistry. They've got enough. I don't understand it. They're never satisfied. All they want to do is get players. They like open up a refrigerator and Brian Cashman gets another player. That does the job.
Cashman deserves the credit with Carpenter. He has 10 homers. It just speaks for it. Batting 344, and he's the utility guy. He's playing every 2 or 3 days, and these other guys get rest.
And the other big name that keeps coming up, and I believe he'd be a perfect fit for the Mets. They need a catcher. You know, now James McCann is hurt again, and, you know, they don't really – Thomas Nido can only do so much. Wilson Contreras from the Cubs. The thing is, who do you give up? Who do you give up? And a lot of these teams are not going to be looking at trading away prospects. You trade away prospects, you're giving away the future of your team. The Mets got burnt by that over the last few years. As an example, you know that. Every Met fan knows that. The Yankees have had pretty good success. They've kept their prospects. Florio is still there. I believe he's getting up there in age, but he's still there. You know what I'd love to see? Andujar. Andujar needs a team. He's getting 2-3 hits a night in AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. But the Yankees won't part ways with him. Teams won't give up prospects yet. They need pitching. And pitching is going to get you into October.
Yeah, it's been proven in the past years, even with Atlanta last year. If you buy at the deadline, you're going to succeed in October. And Atlanta proved it. And it speaks for itself with this season. Cashman and the Yankees getting Carpenter, Trevino, Donaldson, these guys out of nowhere. And now you see they're almost 40 games over 500 with a 177 run differential.
Well, what you got to do, and what we have to do, and what fans have to pay attention to now and going into the All-Star break, is research the minor league systems of these teams that are in contention. Contention, not so much with the division, but the wild card format that's been expanded to 3 teams in each league, right?
Mm-hmm.
How that all spans out in October, to me, I'm still confused how it works. But you could look at this. Teams that are within reach of a wild card are going to look for pitching. Not so much production at the plate. They need arms. They're going to need, because they know how important that is. And I do expect the Mets to be a team they're going to try and fortify their bullpen, because what they got now is not going to work.
Yeah, and we've seen it in the past with Scherzer last year to the Dodgers. What's another one? Jose Barrios was a Twin last year. He got traded. All these teams are trying to go for the playoff hunt, and you see it in July when they give up their future prospects. Last year with Crow Armstrong for the Mets, we got Javier Baez in return.
And that was a disaster. I don't know what that to me was that was one of those moves that should never been made by Brody. Brody, BVW, as they call them. Though I miss his donuts in the press box at Citi Field. He used to give the media donuts first game of every homestand, a new homestand. That to me, I cannot explain why they made a move like that, to thinking that Javier Baez was going to put them at the top.
Yeah, it was just
to give away a prospect like that with a great arm and a great bat.
They thought the mix of Lindor and Baez up the middle would do it, but as we've seen, it didn't have no success. And
there's been a lot of talk. Francisco Alvarez.
Yeah, and you spoke of Wilson Contreras before with the Cubs. I think the one team to look out for with him is the Houston Astros, because that powerhouse.
You segued right in. We got to talk to Nick Alvarez, who's out there in Houston, a part of the SLG network. John, is Nick there so we could bring him on for some of his opinions about those Houston Astros? Because if we can get Nick on to not kill time, because we got a lot more to do. But I want his opinion, because he's as big a Houston Astros fan. And you go on social media on Facebook with Nick, and he talks about the Houston Astros, you're going to want to read those comments. John, is Nick there?
Fortunately, he's not there right now. He's handling another occasion.
All right,
now.
All right. Well, maybe
we'll get him.
We'll get him. So let's continue this possible trade deadline talk, and then we'll take another break and come back with Nobody Beats the Wiz. Now, what do we got there? We have the Yankees are losing now 4-3. Oh, the Yankees are losing. How surprising is that? How are they losing the game 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth? The bullpen gave it up?
Yeah. Let's see. Clay Holmes was replaced by Peralta. Peralta gave up a single to
Clay Holmes. Oh, Peralta won because Clay Holmes has been He's an AL All-Star in the Yankees. He has been one of the top relievers in baseball. We know that. Maybe next Edwin Diaz, maybe the second best reliever in the game right now. So
Yeah, they've been going back and forth.
So the top of the ninth, one out I see, and the Reds have the lead over the Yankees. Which look, the Yankee fans are going to complain if they lose this one. They complained. They split 4 games with the Red Sox up in Fenway this past weekend. There's nothing to complain about. How can you complain about a team that has 61 wins at the halfway point? It's dominating the game.
Fans find the little things to complain about. It's always been like that, and especially for the Yankees, everything matters.
Yeah, but Yankee fans should not feel that they have to win every ball game. The way I say they're going to win again. I get that. They're due for a little tailspin. It's they're due for that. Every team is, and the Yankees just can't keep winning game after game. Though at this pace, I still 110 wins for sure.
Yeah, it's with the 162 games, it's a marathon. So they'll go through their dog days, but for them, the dog days is 5-5 in a 10 games stretch. So it's not.
Well, they had a long 4-city road trip. The one game in Houston. They come out of the break. They go back to Houston again with this crazy schedule. I don't think Yankee fans have to worry with the home run bats they have. Though Aaron Hicks went down the night with an injury. I don't know how severe it was, but in that at bat, he needed assistance to get back to the dugout. And I don't know how bad the injury was. Well, Weisiger is on his way back. Domingo Germán is on the way back. They've got guys coming back in the pitching department. And Aaron Judge was out again with the back stiffness. Supposedly they're playing it cautious with him. Nothing to be concerned about. Stanton going in a little slide, but will still give you the home run production. What bad can you say about the Yankees? I don't get it.
There's literally no complaints with the Yankees. You just see the little flaws here and there, especially against Boston. It's the pitching was struggling at times, and that's going to happen over the long haul of the season. And the bullpen was fine. You just got to get the contact hitting, clutch hitting, runners in scoring position.
Something the Mets had been lacking in the month of June. Something they did really well in the first few months of the season, the first half. And then in June, that wasn't happening again. I still think the Mets, they're going to be in a dogfight with the Braves to the end. But the Orioles beat the Cubs. We said they're their 9th straight win tonight. And this note that I just see out of that game, and if you're a Baltimore Oriole fan, you see why they're in the right direction. The longest winning streak since 1999. Jeez. And then now we're 500. And I have a friend who's a big Orioles fan, and he explained it to me. It's the patience of rebuilding. And he said exactly what it is. And if a team is on a rebuilding phase, as they're doing, this is what you see. And they're doing it the right way with young, exciting talent, the prospect, the catcher that came up. How do you pronounce his name, Wiz?
Rushman, Adley Rushman.
There you go. I mean, and the Mariners, too. The Mariners, and you're going to see a shift in baseball eventually.
Mm-hmm. The elite part with the Orioles, and it's not spoken about a lot, is the bullpen. Each reliever with more than 30 innings pitched has under a 2.6 ERA. So when it comes to the 7th inning against the Orioles, teams like to sleep on them. That's when they're firing most. We saw 2 walk-offs in the last week from Baltimore.
Yeah, and you've seen a lot of crazy things in the first half of this season. We'll talk more about it on our All-Star Game special next week at 10 p.m. live, Sports with Rich on the SLG Network. Wiz, we're going to take a little breather again, brief break, come back, and more to come. We got a half hour more or a little more than that. Nobody beats the Wiz coming up. Fact of the week answer, and some other notes here and there, your comments and questions in the cube as always. And do we rename the name of this show Sports with Rich or Sports with Rich and Wiz? Or is it the Rich and the Wiz? I don't know. He instigated it, not me. Let us know. And
I did not, but let us know with suggestions in the comments.
Yes, we do. Now,
we got a list.
We both write for LatinoSports.com. I'm also on NewYorkSportsDay.com and also some other places because, as I say every week, I'm a whore in the business. And we're here every week, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. live on the SLG Network. So we're back with more Sports with Rich. Like, comment, and subscribe on the channel on SLG Network and on YouTube and Rich Mancuso on my YouTube page. Your support is always appreciated. We enjoy doing this every week. We'll continue to do it. Even if I take a week off, the Wiz will be there to take over. Sports with Rich and Wiz, Robert Rizzo. More coming back with Nobody Beats the Wiz after this. Stay with us.
What's good, everybody? My name is Caleb from the Bayou City Boys over here on the SLG Network. Happy to announce that we are now working with Dano's Seasoning. So if you're anything like me, you meal prep all the time, Dano's is the way to go, man. They got multiple flavors. Hit them up. Be sure to use our code SLG Network. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo, independent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone.
That was a brief break. I didn't caught me off guard. We're back, Wiz. Did you have your bathroom break?
Yeah, I'm back. All fresh.
Carl, what is that? Carlos Lee? What's his name? Or Khalib Lee? Rizzy Rich.
Caleb Lee. Rizzy Rich. It's got
I like that.
To it.
Yeah,
We
well,
got-
all
we got
right.
three.
Put
We got
that
three on the
down.
list.
Put that down. That has a little has a tune to it for me. You know?
Yeah, no,
All
that's a
right,
good one. Shout out Caleb.
Yeah, I like that. And I want to hear who else has anything more to do. Right. All right. We have to talk NBA a little bit. NFL, we'll do that in a moment. MLS, the whole bit. But right now, my favorite part of the program, your favorite part of the program, because it's your time, we call it Nobody Beats the Wiz. And John, there we go. I want to get some music up on that. I want to get some music about the Lion because I think the Wiz is a lion. And it's Nobody Beat the Wiz. There it goes. What we do is I post some questions to the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Yes or no. He gives his quick response and opinion. And let me get my notes out. You know what's I'm all discombobulated tonight. I don't know if it's the heat. We went off track a little bit because I had Julian on a little earlier, but I always give fighters first preference. Looking to hire somebody to be here near me every week, but all right, here we go. I can't pay you that much, but I'm willing to take you in. Are you ready? Nobody Beats the Wiz, yes or no? I know you love this. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Here's the first thing, yes or no. Nobody beats the Wiz. To the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Keith Hernandez had his day at Citi Field this Saturday. Retired as number 17. I wasn't there. I wasn't going to be there. I don't believe in him being a homegrown players. Yes, retired numbers. Hernandez is not a homegrown Met, so I didn't agree with it. I'm one of the few that said that, and I don't care. I'll say it. Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly, they both respect each other. Two of them, there's always talk. Hall of Fame. Yes or no, Nobody Beats the Wiz. Keith Hernandez, Don Mattingly, before your time, I saw them both play. Do they deserve Hall of Fame induction?
Yeah, both of them do. They did it on both sides of the field, defense and offense. I believe Keith was more than 8-time Gold Glove, and Don Mattingly, same goes there. Although he didn't win a championship with the Yankees during that run, he was a huge pivotal point for the Yankees when he was on the team. And I like him as a manager as much as the Marlins are struggling right now. I like him as the captain of that franchise.
All right, but the thing is, I don't agree. Neither one of them are Hall of Fame to me. Old school as I am, criteria still 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. Yeah, Gold Gloves and MVPs and all that postseason. Yeah, you know, I don't need either one of them is Hall of Fame. They wouldn't get my vote. I don't get the vote. God, I don't know why, but I don't care. But no, I don't agree. But you say yes, I say no. All right. Well, that's the name of an old song, isn't it a Beatle tune? You say yes, I say no.
Yeah,
Wasn't
no,
it the Beatles?
yeah. I forget the name of it, but you got it.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I should know. I've been a big Beatle fan all my life. Nobody beats the Wiz. Here we go. Yes or no? Now, Judge Stanton and Rizzo, we've been talking about them, the meat of the order, Yankee lineup, all these home runs, 73 combined as going into tonight's game. They have hit more home runs than 7 teams: the Royals, White Sox, Guardians, A's, Tigers, and Padres, and the Nats. Do Judge, Stanton, and Rizzo keep that pace up till October? Yes or no? Nobody beats the Wiz.
No, I don't think they keep it up. At least one of them is going to struggle with injuries or just batting stumps in general, because over the long haul of the season, it happens. Like we saw with Judge, he's going to miss 2 to 3 days with just, back tightness. Same with Rizzo. These guys are 6'6", 6'7". They're running full force, diving in the outfield. The things happen, and in the long haul of the season, I don't think that they'll keep at this pace, but obviously they'll still win the division by a large margin.
Well, there's no doubt about that. The thing is, these are home run hitters. Home run hitters are streaky.
Mm-hmm.
They'll either hit the home run high and far, and they'll strike out or walk, or get occasional extra base hit.
We saw with Judge Stanton with the strikeouts.
Yeah. All right. So you say yes. Well, no.
No, I say
you say no.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody beats the Wiz. This one that came to my attention. Yes or no? All right. The Yankees had this rare thing past week. 3 position players this week came in out of their position. I don't agree with this mercy rule, whatever it be. You saw Josh Van Meter of the Pirates, Ernie Clement of the Guardians, and then Jackie Bradley Jr. in the Red Sox-Yankees series come out of position and just lob the baseball because the bullpens were being overused, the pitching, the wipeout games that the Yankees won. In fact, what I saw with Van Meter and the Pirates and the Yankees hitting back grand slams, and I think they hit 2 grand slams or was it 2 in 3 games this past week because the pitcher's coming out of position. I mean, come on. Do you agree, yes or no? Do you like it or not? Position players coming out of position and just getting on the mound in the 8th or 9th inning because the manager doesn't want to deplete the bullpen anymore. Do you like this or not?
No,
yes
I don't
no?
like it. I don't like it, and specifically for teams, and you're pitching these guys, you're going to be using them the next day in the field. It just leads to injuries for the long haul, and we saw it last year when Rizzo was still on the Cubs. He pitched against Atlanta, and they made the trade. But just like that, what happens with an injury on the mound with your star player on the pitching? He's your first baseman. They should make a rule for that, honestly.
Okay, so you're not for it.
No, I'm not for it.
Neither am I, and I'm so old school as I am, and I think baseball needs to look into this more because it's just, to me, it's comical. To me, it's stupid. Yeah, it could lead to an injury, and it's not baseball.
Yeah,
that's
the Pirates game
it's
felt
much
like
of a Sandlot game that they have 8 guys instead of 9 on the team, and they come in. It doesn't belong there. So, but the Yankees are always,
the Pirates-Yankees felt like batting practice. The game was over in the 2nd inning.
Lobbing the ball, Van Meter was lobbing the ball like 55 on the radar gun. I mean, even I can hit a ball
against the 6'6" Giancarlo Stanton.
Whatever. Nobody beats the Wiz. Here we go. We got 1 more 2 to go with you, Wiz. Biggest trade acquisition. We've been talking about the trade deadline coming up August 2nd. Who on these 2 will be the biggest trade acquisition, assuming that they go? Wilson Contreras from the Cubs or Jose Castillo of the Reds? Teams need pitching. We talked about that earlier. Who do you think is more will be the bigger out of the 2 going in the trade if they do?
I think Castillo for sure, because a lot of the teams that are going to be buying for Contreras is in that spot. They're hunted for the playoffs already, but the teams for pitchers like for Luis Castillo, they're in it for the long haul, for a World Series championship. So I think we'll definitely see Luis Castillo in the postseason for another team. I'll go with Castillo on that one.
I think Castillo goes, and there are a lot of teams vying for him. I was reading something this morning about all the potential possibilities of Castillo and Contreras, and that's why I brought that up to you. Two of the biggest names there. That Montez also the A's, and there are a lot of needs for teams again. But I think pitching and Castillo being the top guy, I agree with you there. All right, nobody beats the Wiz. The final one. You ready, Wiz? Yes or no? Well, I see. Are you wearing a cap tonight?
No cap.
All right. Okay. All right. Your cap collection, it's got to be extensive. And you wear a lot of them. I know that. I say you wear more Met caps. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yeah, I wear, out of everything, most Mets hats. I got probably like 5 Mets hats out of my 15 or 16 hats.
Okay, so you continually collect Met caps that you wear.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
a
a
Met
big
fan.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the vintage clothing. Like when I find an old Mets hat from the '90s, or like that
okay.
the old logos from like '86 Mets. I like that that font, those images. I like that.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of going to a barbecue that I never get invited to, that you're always going to. Thank you. All right, finally, nobody beats the Wiz, yes or no? Sports with Rich, live on the SLG Network. No longer are you a fan. You are now a member of the media. So you sit in the press box. You mingle in with the big boys. You eat a press dining room dinner, except at Citi Field, which we don't like. Shout out. Bad shout out. What do you prefer? Because I know you still like being a fan. Do you like sitting in that press box, or would you rather do you enjoy sitting in the stands with all those fans?
Oh,
Nobody beats the Wiz, yes or no?
You know this answer. I'm living the dream in the press box every single
All
time.
right.
It's an opportunity for me to branch out.
It's a good young dream because you're one of the younger guys in this business right now, and doing a great job at it as well.
Yeah, I'm 22.
Yeah, I know, and you're living a dream. I didn't sit in my first press box until I think I was 24 or 5. I don't remember. It's such a long time ago.
I beat you by 2 to 3 years.
And with that, we close the segment this week. Nobody beats the Wiz. I do that with Robert Rizzo, the Wiz, as I call him, each and every week here on Sports with Rich, live on the SLG Network. Let's continue the program. Let's talk some NFL. And then we'll wrap up the final segment. We'll take another break, sports update, another break. A lot of NFL news, Riz, including Baker Mayfield. Now with the Panthers. Now, GM Scott Fitterer of the Panthers said today that Mayfield and Sam Darnold will still battle for the quarterback spot, the number one, the quarterback job with the Panthers. What do you think of that?
I overall think Baker Mayfield's going to win the job because we got to think about before the injury. He had a shoulder injury last season. The Browns were 3-3 with him, and it was against the Arizona Cardinals when he got hurt. Before he got hurt, he had 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, averaging 245 yards per game, passing yards. So I think he'll win the job, and it gives the Panthers the best opportunity on winning against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Winston.
That's going to be that's going to be interesting. And we're talking NFL now, but in a few weeks, training camps begin. Scott Engel will come on, our NFL guru, fantasy football expert, and we'll have Sam Garnes come on, former Jet Giant, special teams. He was special team defensive vendor, but both teams in New York area. So we're going to talk NFL soon, in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
training. Can't believe the NFL season will be here before you know it.
Yeah, it's funny. They dominate the offseason too, with all the trades, the signings.
Yeah, and in fact, dominating news in Pittsburgh wasn't about their team or players, about Heinz Field. Got a name change. Let's put up a photo of, there it is. I love that. I've not been there yet. And I hear everyone that goes there loves it there. They love Heinz Field. But it's not Heinz Field no more. What happened?
They changed it to Acrisure Stadium, and you know how it goes in this. You know how it goes in this business. It's all about the money at the end of the day. What can they get at the end?
That's an insurance company. They're naming it after an insurance company.
We
They
should put-
signed a 15-year contract to do that.
Yeah, fans weren't
Why
happy about it.
change? It's no longer Heinz Ketchup. It's now an insurance company. Does that mean that Heinz Ketchup is no longer going to be at the concession stands at now what's called Aqua Shore Stadium or whatever it's called?
It's just so funny because the fans were so mad about it all of yesterday and all of today. The stadium's names, it was named Heinz Field in 2001, so they've seen a lot with that stadium. And ketchup and mustard, Heinz specifically, is known for Pittsburgh. It's known in Pittsburgh.
I know.
So for them
I
to
know.
remove that, it's just like a stab in the back to the Pittsburgh
The
native.
history of the black and gold over there. You know, I think though the stadium that gets the record for most name changes in Miami with the Marlins.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
can't
changed a lot.
keep track how many times they changed the name of that stadium. It's all about the money. That's what it is. And when they get a contract to put, look, Citi Field will be Citi Field in New York with the Mets until Citibank says, nah, no more. You know, we don't want to do it no more. And Yankee Stadium will always be Yankee Stadium because they'll never change the tradition. The Yankees, see, this is one thing about the Yankees and that organization. They are so traditional. They will never, ever do that. They would never change. Can you imagine the uproar if they changed the name of Yankee Stadium to a corporate name?
I can't imagine what
would you name Yankee
like.
Stadium? What throw this out. What corporation, what team would Yankee Stadium? What would you call it?
Jeez. Answer in the comments for anyone out there, but
yeah, I know there are corporations out there in the Bronx and city of New York and even around the country that are looking to do that. But the Yankees will say no. They won't buy into that type of money to change the tradition. I give them a lot of credit for that. Finally, Deshaun Watson. What's going on? Suspension by the Cleveland Browns. Will the Browns see Deshaun Watson as their quarterback?
I don't think so for this year. The court hearings have been back and forth. The NFL is seeking a 1-year suspension. Meanwhile, NFLPA and Watson and his attorney are seeking 0 games. So it's a big line in the sand right there. So they have to figure it out before mini camps start with everything. But Watson's hearing, before this happened, obviously we saw the Browns give him the contract. They I think they signed Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback. He's a utility, serviceable quarterback backup, but not more than 6 games. You can't do it for the long haul of the season. And the Browns, they figured out the contract scenario with Watson. They're only paying him $9 million this year, $1 million overall, $8 million signing bonus. So they know a suspension's coming. It's just a matter on how many games. So they're not worried about it financially because the next following years until 2026, he's getting paid $46 million a year. So the Browns are in it for the long haul, not just this year.
It continually it's always a problem in the NFL with quarterbacks or some of their star athlete players getting into trouble. I mean, that's a major issue that still needs to be adhered to, be addressed. Commissioner Roger Goodell. All right, Wiz. We're going to take our final break, come back, wrap it all up. We have some MLS news to talk about, some more about Latino sports, and we'll talk more about their bus trip. You know, a little of everything to end it tonight. So that means we've got another 15 minutes. We're not going to go past midnight tonight. I don't know if we are, but that's fine. This has been a fast-paced, informative, crazy 2 hours as always. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. Still looking to see your suggestions. We have a few about a name change of the program. We're going to keep that in mind. Sports with Rich, back after this, live on the SLG Network. Like, comment, and subscribe. Sports with Rich. Back after this. Final break. Update with John.
Give me 1 second here, because. Thanks, guys. Over in Atlanta tonight, the New York Mets did lose to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 4-1. And guys, I do have some big news. The New York Yankees did lose tonight to the Cincinnati Reds by the score of 4-3. Over in Minnesota right now, the Twins are currently losing right now to Milwaukee Brewers by the score of 6-3. In the top of the 12th inning, the Athletics are currently defeating the Rangers by a score of 8-6. In the top of the 9th, the Rockies are currently defeating the Padres by a score of 5-3. The Astros are currently beating the Angels 5-1. As you said before, the Giants are all over Arizona right now by the score of 8-0. The Guardians and White Sox split their doubleheader today. The Pirates won today. As you said before, the Reds won. The Blue Jays won. The Rays won. The Dodgers won. The Orioles won. They're at 500 now. The Tigers won. And the Mariners and Nationals are postponed due to rain. And some brief hockey news. Malkin has re-signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 4-year, about $42.5 million deal, I think it was. If I remember correctly, I'm probably off on that. And we're going to go throw it over for one more break, and the guys will be back to wrap up this edition of Sports with Rich. And we'll be right back right after this.
Spending money like it's nothing. I don't have a budget. Please don't get offended when you see the kids stunting. Got my queens with me, but it ain't no Scarborough bluffing. See, I'm riding solo while dependent bitches cuffing. I got all I need, me, myself, and I just love it. I've been gone, rich and stacking to the ceiling. I'm dick long. Could never change the side I've been on. In 100 years, I'ma still be with my day ones. When it's said and done, fuck where I'm going, it's all about where I came from. You don't know.
Final segment, Sports with Rich, before midnight in the East Coast. Rich Mancuso, the Wiz Robert Rizzo. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for being with us every week. Hey, Wiz, break it up. The Yankee fans are all in an uproar. They lost tonight.
Yep, they lost to the Reds, unfortunately, but they'll be back tomorrow. We know it. The big matchup should be on Thursday, and as you said, you're going to be there covering it. Luis Castillo on the mound. Yankees going to be looking at him up close, so we'll see how the Yankees bats do.
I'm going through the Twitter feeds and the Yankees, and now Yankee fans are notorious for this. They're bashing Clay Holmes.
Yeah,
they Aaron Boone. Why this? Why that? Why Peralta? We can't do this. We can't. Your team is 61-26. You have a 15-game lead in the division. You're not losing the division.
No, it just
what do they want? You can't win every game.
It goes to show you how passionate the fans are and how they want to win each game. But as you said, you can't over-exaggerate one game. You're not going 162-0.
No,
and at the end of the day,
they're spoiled. They think they're going to win every game. Come on, you're not. I care about that. But every time you take the field, you're going to lose somewhere out of it. You're going to lose.
Yeah, and especially tonight, like we look at it overall, there was no Aaron Judge in the lineup. So it's just one game. He got his rest. He'll probably be back tomorrow. Just take it as is and win the day.
Is there a status? Because I didn't see what the latest was on Aaron Hicks. He was removed from the game tonight.
There's no status right now.
All right, so they'll probably do
right shin contusion.
Yeah, they'll probably do an X-ray, and hopefully he'll be okay because he's been having some type of comeback. He's revived his bat, and the Yankees are hoping for that. Yeah. But, they lose to the Reds, and they continue the series tomorrow night in the Bronx, and again Thursday, and Castillo's on the mound. And then they got, after that, what do they got?
They got Boston in the
Red
Bronx.
Sox for 3. So, going out of the All-Star break, they could lose. They could conceivably be a team that's on the verge, maybe 30 losses or a couple of more than 32 losses, maybe. I don't know. But Yankee fans will cry about it. They'll always cry. All right, Wiz. Let's look at some MLS soccer. All of a sudden, NYCFC is in a battle, defending MLS champs. I was at Yankee Stadium Sunday while you were at a barbecue. It's all right. I ate well, and I ate for free because the Yankees have one of, and the MLS NYCFC, who in 2 weeks, we hope to have one of their players on the program. They do a job for the media, and I wish they would get more media coverage, but they're in a little tailspin, though. They did win Sunday over New England 4-2. A lot of penalties, a lot of attacking, a lot of aggression, a lot going on in that game. Coach Nick Cushing, the interim coach, did tell me that this is a type of game that they'll play, and they'll continually look at Valentin Castellanos, whether they say it or not. He's in line right again now. He's the leading scorer in MSL with goals, maybe win the Golden Boot Award again as top leading scorer in the league. And they've got Philadelphia and this team, the Red Bulls, Sunday in Jersey. And they're playing, and we're going to be there. They call it the Hudson Derby, and that's a battle for first place in the Eastern Conference. That's going to be a tough game. I'm looking forward to going on Sunday afternoon in Paterson. I think they're in Paterson, New Jersey, in that area.
Yeah, the Red Bulls Arena. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere because you got two fan bases clashing within 100 miles of each other. So it's going to be must-watch television. And as it stands today, Red Bulls stand in first with 33 points, and NYCFC is right there in third place with 32 points. So it's going to be a battle all 90 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to it. And when it goes to, say, NYCFC, the MLS announced recently this week, 3 All-Stars are coming from NYCFC, and Castellanos, Alex Collins, and goalkeeper Sean Johnson.
Well deserved.
Yeah, the boys in blue are representing NYCFC in the All-Star game.
Well,
and
they should. They're the defending MLS champs, and they're in a battle again for the division, defending that MLS Cup. And the Red Bulls are going to be the challenge on Sunday. We'll see what they're made of. We'll be there. Now, Wayne Rooney, and those who are not familiar with soccer or football, as they call it, English, they're across the pond and everywhere else, they call it football. A great international player has now taken over DC United as their head coach. They've been struggling. That team has injuries, and they've been struggling in the standings. They're one of the worst in the league and with injuries being a part of it. What does Wayne Rooney bring to the table for DC United?
He has that player connection because obviously he's just coming back. He's coming from the league as a player, and he gets high praise from former and current players, as we know. Sebastian Salazar said on the hiring for Rooney, he made bad players good, he made good players great, and the team was good on his previous stints with other teams. So DC United has a important coach coming in, and he knows what to do with the experience. He connects well with the team.
Love covering the MLS. It's fast-paced. Players are very accessible. They treat the media with professionalism. Love being there. We'll be there Sunday for 2 top teams in the MLS in the Eastern Conference, and it's going to be one hell of a match. I expect a lot of penalties, yellow cards, hopefully no red cards. And years ago, when I didn't like soccer at all, I used to say, what the hell is this, a traffic cop? Yellow card, red card? But now I know what it's all about. It's
I don't know
part of the game.
They determine it so quick, and it's interesting to see how the refs do it, especially in the World Cup. You see it how they're right on it.
And that comes up
in November, right?
World Cup. Viva Italia. While we're on this subject, you brought something up to me tonight at Yankee Stadium. Of course, the NYCFC and the Yankees give the field to them. They have a little ownership stake in the team. And NYCFC is having a very difficult time building a stadium for themselves, whether it be the Bronx or anywhere in the New York City area. They convert the field from baseball to soccer and vice versa. And tonight in the Yankee game, you pointed something out to me that we see all the time.
Yeah, it was second and third, 1 out. The Yankees were up to bat, and I believe it was Hicks before the injury. He hit a fly ball to center field, easy fly ball. The center fielder slipped on it seemed like a divot or like a type of hole, and immediately he dropped the ball, and he was looking at the hole and he was trying to cover it. And I'm looking through the camera, and it's like Rich was there on Sunday seeing NYCFC play. So what are your thoughts on the transformation and the field changes? What, in 2 days? They played on Sunday and they played tonight.
In 2 days. Well, look, I got to credit the Yankees ground crew. They earn their money. They work overnight into the next day to convert the field back. We see how they do it. I mean, they have to replace the turf, cover, whatever they do. But the outfield and those areas out there, they take a beating. You know, these MLS and any soccer player cleats on the outfield grass, they're constantly running on it. It's not like baseball where they stay still. These guys are, and especially when there's inclement weather, they'll still play. That was a great day on Sunday. The weather was nice, but those cleats bang into that turf. So the tickets come up that, the Yankees ground crew could only do so much. That's a concern. And I wonder the Yankees organization looking at that more. I think they have 2 more home dates at Yankee Stadium, then they go to Citi Field. But here's the other thing. When you get to October, and NYCFC is using Yankee and Citi Field. When you get to October, and I haven't posed this question yet to NYCFC officials, how are they going to handle that? Because the Yankees are going to be in the postseason, the Mets are down to be in the postseason, and MLS season, the schedule's still going on as they near their playoff time. They're going to be kicked out of both stadiums. I don't know where they're going to play. Up in Connecticut, the fan base can't tolerate that.
Yeah.
Question I got to pose to an MLS official and to NYCFC officials on this program. And good column to write.
It kind of reminds me of what the Knicks and Rangers go through at MSG each year, because if they do make the playoffs, it's a big issue because you have concerts at MSG every weekend. So
yeah, well, they what they do is they rearrange that. They don't have an issue with that. This is a totally different ball game now, Wiz, because you have to kick your team gets kicked out of the 2. It's difficult and complicated as it is already with 2 different stadiums, 2 venues. Now they won't have either one of them. They go to St. John's University here in Queens where they play too. Their NYCFC 2 team plays there. They played some contest there. But you know what? That's not what the fan base wants. And this team definitely needs their own stadium, and they're nowhere close to getting one.
I was going to say the home field advantage gets taken out of the sport if you're moving stadiums every freaking week, especially in the playoffs.
That's going to be very interesting in October. What's going to be really nice for us, though, is coming up next weekend. Baseball Hall of Fame induction, David Ortiz, one of the few getting inducted this year, and we're going. Because Latino Sports, the great organization, and latinosports.com that we write for with Julio Porron, the bus trip, we have it up there again. There were still seats available. Read about it, Wiz. Tell us how fans can still be a part of Hall of Fame Day with Latino Sports as the host.
Yeah, we're doing a bus trip down up to Cooperstown, July 24th. The bus leaves at 6:30. Prices are provided on the show right there. And contact latsports@aol.com for all additional information. The prices you can't beat, because for a tour, to see the ceremony, for the bus trip, refreshments, that's like a $200, $300 day alone. For Latino Sports, it's less than $100. You're not going to beat it.
I don't know how I'm going to tolerate 3.5 hours on a bus with you.
I have too much energy.
I know. And I can't sit for 3.5 hours. That bus better make some stops. All right. We'll look forward to that. Yeah, I know he will. He's the master of it. Julio Porron, the founder, owner of Latino Sports. We love writing for the website, by the way. Okay. Wimbledon. We look at the Joker, Novak. Won another title. His 26th Grand Slam title, 7th Wimbledon. He passed Roger Federer at Wimbledon on the grass courts. But he's always controversial, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always in the news. But it's funny because he's on top of the sport for so many years. Him and Federer go back and forth.
I hope to see him at the U.S. Open here in New York at the U.S. Tennis Center in Flushing across from Citi Field. I hope he's there. I want to do the U.S. Open this year. I haven't done it in a long time, and I hope he's there. Very interesting. He's a good guy to talk to. Oh, I know that he never lost words. Okay. All right. I saw this, the All-Star, the All-Star week next week. The All-Star Futures game is Sunday. It's coming up. And Francisco Alvarez of the Mets, the number 1 prospect and probably the top prospect in baseball, or top 2 or 3. The catcher, designated hitter. There's talk about maybe the Mets bringing him up early. I don't think they will. And if they do, I think it's a mistake. I know the Mets need someone like that. But he's going to start to look. He's going to be start to look at. He's going to be a guy to look at in the futures game. Something to look forward to on Sunday.
For sure, and I agree on your point about Alvarez. I don't think they should pull him up this early. because his offensive talent is there for sure, but he's going to be catching for Scherzer, Bassett, Walker, Carrasco in a playoff hunt. So this kid's only 20 years old. I can't imagine doing that behind the plate at the pros. So for him to do it, a DH makes sense, but the 20-year-old, he's got to be playing every day behind the plate, developing his skills, and obviously making an impact on offense.
He's gone up the ladder pretty quick. And what's going on in baseball the last few years, you're seeing more of that. You're seeing the development quick, fast, rapid. And players are going from single A to triple A like it's nothing. And within 2 years they're in the major leagues. And this kid might be doing that. And the Mets need him. The Mets need a catcher. So maybe they're holding out. Maybe this is a guy you're not going to trade him. This is a guy that you're going to see, I think, in the major leagues in the next year with the Mets.
And with the Mets talking about their rival with Atlanta Braves, they did the same thing with Michael Harris at the end of May. For Michael Harris, he got promoted, and immediately he made an impact. He's batting .294 on the season. And as I said before, since he's been up, the Braves are 30-12 with him in the lineup. 30-12. The kid's only 23, 24 years old, and he's making an impact with Acuna, Riley, Swanson next to him.
It's going to be interesting how the young guys still with these two teams in the National League East, the Mets and Braves, they might be battling for the division in years to come because they have a lot of good young superstars on both teams, young talent coming up, as all Major League Baseball is, that will be displayed in the future game on Sunday on ESPN. After that, the Derek Jeter documentary will be part 1 of 7. So we're looking at that on Sunday if we get time, or DVD, whatever you do to see it, we'll be there. Now, finally, this came up today. It annoys me because it's an NFL player, Le'Veon Bell. He says he's getting away from the NFL now, and his focus is to be a pro fighter, and he's going to be boxing another running back, Adrian Peterson, July 30th in L.A. at that famous arena we talk about. All right?
The crypto.
The crypto. Bell is the 5th leading all-time rusher in the NFL history. And now he's going to decide to become a pro fighter. He's going to cease his NFL career to become a pro fighter. He doesn't have, what I'm hearing from my boxing people, he doesn't have boxing instincts. What is he doing? I don't agree with this. And they promote this. These promoters promote this junk.
It's definitely going to sell. It's going to sell because the two high-profile names in Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, they're both only, less than 34 years old.
I'd rather see them do the pro wrestling than this.
And with Le'Veon, he proved it before. He was rapping on his off-season instead of playing football. Before he signed with the Jets, he was just rapping during the off-season. So it's
you like this idea? I'll leave you with that. Do you like it? Do you think this is a good move for Le'Veon Bell?
No, I don't like it. It could lead to injuries, obviously, but his best talent and his top talent is football, and he should stay in it. Even if he's not playing, he could help players, coaches, franchises with the little things because he's been in the league for, 8 years now? So he knows the business. It's not just about the sport. It's about the business, as we know.
But you know what? It appeals to the young demographic. A guy like you and all the others, they love this stuff. Because social media, a phenomenal thing in social media, and you guys love this stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
If you told me 3 or 4 years ago Jake Paul and Logan Paul would be in the fight scene, I wouldn't believe you.
No.
Things just changed.
Forget about Jake and Logan Paul, because then I wanted to ask John his opinion on Logan Paul, and I want to bring him in to say good night. And I want to ask his opinion about that and get the fact of the week answered. John, come on in. Great producer at the SLG Network, host of Beyond the Ropes. Or
Around the ropes.
Around the ropes. I mean, I do that purposely to you. I love you. Switching the channels, switching this, doing this, doing that, 50 million things. I don't know how you do it, but you do it for us every week. Sports with Rich. John, before the fact of the week, any ideas for a new name of the show? We got a few that came in tonight.
I have one. It's going to sound really stupid. Professor and the Wiz.
Hey, that,
No.
that has a ring to it. You don't like it?
No, no, I don't like it. It makes me older than what I am. Wiz, what were the three that we got to dock it to 3 and do this again next week?
I
Give it a few weeks.
I'll name them right
What do
now.
you got?
I'll name 'em. All right, so we got one, Rizzy and Rich.
I don't like it.
The other one, Sports with Richie Man and Robbie Baseball.
I don't like that.
And what was Rich Mancuso and the Whiz Kid.
That one's got a ring to it. I'm going to keep that. We'll keep that in there as one of them. We'll keep them all in, but to me, that goes on top right now
All right.
because you started this.
I
Your
did not.
fans and supporters started this on social media. Give the show another name. That it's too much Rich Mancuso Sports with Rich. I'm open to it. So we're going to do that. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, as long as it has a good ring to it, and we'll do it. So let's keep those 3 up there for next week and the week after and see that more come in. Of course, you like, comment, and subscribe on the SLG Network Sports with Rich and on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. And give us your suggestion. John, yours is totally not there. All right. I'm sorry, John. It doesn't work. John, one quick opinion again. We'll keep it in the ring. We're going to wrap this up. Your opinion on Logan Paul. I always confused the two of them. I didn't actually give them either publicity either because they were internet sensations. That's why they're where they are. What do they do that I don't do? What about him signing this deal with WWE? Do you like it? And why did they do it?
Well, they did it because it attracts the younger audience. They can get the younger fan base involved. And personally, I don't like it, but to me, I'm going to give him a shot, see what happens.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with him and The Miz at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
They were both at Madison Square Garden today, both Paul brothers. And I didn't go because I would have loved to ask Logan right up front, tell me about it. Tell me your opinions about it. But he appears to be enjoying it. Signed a good deal. Good luck to him. We'll see. All right.
Exactly.
Fact of the week. Did you get it, Wiz? Did you get it, John? Let me read it again. Hands down is a sports phrase. No one seemed to come up with it in the answer in the cube, in the comments. So the Aaron Judge bobblehead still here. All right. Hands down is a sports phrase. It's a fact. Where did it come from? Where did hands down come in? It's a sports phrase.
Oh, that's a tough
Ding,
one.
ding, 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 ding.
I feel like it has something to do with like cheering or like.
I have a feeling to be something very simple that me and
Dad,
the Wiz are overthinking.
What is it, What is it, John?
People who didn't want their hands up anymore?
Oh my God, are you both off? Oh, what an atrocity! What type of answers are that?
Would it be because I'm blocking you? Let's say I'm in front of you at a sporting event.
Oh my
your
God, we could
hands
do
up?
better than that.
I don't
hands
know.
down. Well, do you ever say to when you run hands down?
Oh wow. Now I'm thinking of the play.
All right. Here's the answer. Hands down is a sports phrase, and it started when a horse jockey won a race without whipping his horse or pulling back the reins. That's your answer. That's how the term hands down became a phrase in sports or a phrase overall. A jockey and a horse without whipping his horse or pulling back the reins. They said it was hands down. And both of you are saying right now, where does he come up with this? What a nut. Out of all the sports facts we've had now on this program since we started, I think that one's the best.
Yeah.
Because I could see that. I see the expression on your faces.
I like
Remember
that
now.
one Huh?
There'll be a better one. Even I already have next week's one already in mind, and we'll see if someone out there will get it so we can give away this Aaron Judge bobblehead. All right, John. Thank you, my friend. See you next week, John. We're gonna wrap it up in a moment. Always a pleasure, John. Is the producer of our show, Sports with Rich, and also the host of on the network on SLG Network of Inside the Ropes, right? Or is it Around the Ropes? Around the Ropes. Okay. All right, Wiz, a great 2 hours, a little more. And next week we have a special program, live 10 p.m. Eastern. And Los Angeles is Major League Baseball's annual All-Star Game, glorified exhibition, as I call it. Yet showcasing a lot of the young stars this year, internationally, 75%, as we said. Very diverse game with that from all over the world. That's what baseball has become, a global entity. And next week, we will have our people from Latino Sports correspondents right there at Dodger Stadium, William Capola, Julio Porbon, Nicole Perez, and a few other people. So for 2 hours next week, that's the only game in town. And we'll be talking All-Star Game. We'll talk baseball for 2 straight hours. Throwing a couple of things in between. You know, I'll still do Nobody Beats the Wiz. I'll still do Fact of the Week. But we're going to emphasize the game and what's going on out there. And we'll have people on remote from L.A. talking about that with us on the program. And I'm looking forward to that next Tuesday night.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to that and the Home Run Derby. Speaking of Home Run Derby, before we go, who do you got to win?
I could care less. I really don't care.
All right.
I do not care. I've been asked that question all day today. I really don't give a damn. I just hope no one gets hurt. I hope Pete Alonso doesn't get hurt. All right?
Yeah.
To me, it's just a spectacle, and that's what MLB wants, and they're doing it. Draws good ratings on ESPN, and the fans love it. I guess if the fans love it, it's okay, but not me. I could care less who wins that damn thing. And I won't even be watching it because you know why? It's Monday night. Monday night, I'll be watching Monday Night Raw. That's what I'll be watching. I could care less. So,
yeah,
who do you like? Who do you like?
I'll be zoned in on Derby. I like Acuna to win it, but also there's 3 or 4 spots left, so I'd like to see Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners get in, 21-year-old, and I'd love to see him win it. Other than
what about Albert Pujols? I think Albert Pujols is in it.
Yeah, Pujols is in it.
You give the old man a chance. Give him a chance.
Oh yeah. He's got the grown man strength.
It should be interesting. So we'll monitor that. We'll talk about it next Tuesday night, and we'll have everybody from Latino Sports. Want to thank Julian Hammerhand Rodriguez earlier tonight. Filled us in about his comeback fight. Abella Boxing Promotions coming up next Friday night. American Dream, East Rutherford, New Jersey. He headlines the card, junior welterweight division, 8 rounds. We'll be there. Thank you, Julian, again. And I want to thank all of you, as always, for supporting this program. And for me, Rich Mancuso, and the Wiz Robert Rizzo. I can be reached on social media, Twitter at Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, Instagram, Mancuso786. And Wiz, where did they get you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, RobertRiz994, Instagram, RRizzo4, Facebook, Robert Rizzo, and catch me on Latino Sports with daily content.
Great content that you write. I kid you, my friend. You're a tremendous young writer. You're going to be a superstar in this business years to come. I'm also at LatinoSports.com, NewYorkSportsDay.com, and any other place you could find me because, as I always say, I'm a hooer in the business as I wind my way down. Like, comment, and subscribe. I ask you to do that. That's important to us here on the network, SLG Network, Sports with Rich. Also on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. To each and every one of you, always, thank you for your continued support. We'll talk during the week. Wiz, we're going to have a big week ahead, including tomorrow, when we visit Julian Rodriguez in the gym in New Jersey. So any final thoughts? I'm going to say goodbye quick.
Yeah, big week ahead. I'm very excited for Julian Rodriguez, seeing him and NYCFC Red Bulls on Sunday. Catch all the articles on Latino Sports. We'll be talking baseball along the way, too.
And until next Tuesday night live at 10 p.m. here on the SLG Network, Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Rich Mancuso. He's the Wiz, Robert Rizzo. And as always, what do we say, Wiz?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Have a good week and a safe one. God bless. Till next week. Thank you.